With a global recession looming, how should people and policymakers in vulnerable Caribbean economies prepare for the rough road ahead? We continue our reporting based on our exclusive interview with Caribbean economist Marla Dukaran with a discussion on how individuals should be thinking about their personal finances in the short and medium term.
If you are in an industry that's vulnerable, like tourism, or if you are in a personally vulnerable situation, you have to be very careful financially. But I think beyond that, and I think that's universal, okay? Um, but I am a huge fan of making sure that you are as financially independent and resilient as possible. How do you get there? You basically have to put money aside. We will always have unexpected situations that we have to deal with. And what does that mean? It means you have to build your resilience.
Dukaran rejected the argument that in this inflationary environment, saving money only to have it whittled away by falling purchasing power is a fool's errand.
Negative real interest rates is a reality in this region. So I don't know that argument is any more relevant today than it was 20 years ago, than it will be in 20 years. So it is a valid argument. It's just that, but it's always going to be like this. So you then have to choose, are you always going to live your life like that? And that's a personal choice. I'm not going to judge anybody. Everybody, as we say in Trinidad, drink water and mind your business, right? Um, Everybody has their freedom to choose. I just feel like it's imprudent.
Dukaran also believes that residents of Caribbean countries should have more realistic expectations of what their respective governments are able to provide.
I just feel like we need, as a people, to stop thinking of the governments as our providers for anything. Yes, governments are there for a purpose. They're to provide stability, institutional framework that allows you to live and work. But increasingly, governments are unable to provide the kind of education, healthcare, infrastructure that I think in the post-independence era they did and they wanted to. More and more, you're seeing governments failing across the Caribbean and Latin America in providing the things that we have grown dependent on them to provide. And I think that whether you think that's a good thing or a bad thing or you're neutral, the fact of the matter is it's happening. And do you want to stand out by the road and lament the condition of the road? Or do you want to just, get on with life and try to insulate yourself as much as possible from what's happening around you by building your own resilience and living as much off the grid as possible? That's the way I see it. I think you need to just get on with it and not wait on any government to provide anything.
For both individuals and for governments, Dukaran recommended focusing on building capacity in three key areas.
Food, fuel, and financial security, right, are the things that coming out of this pandemic, we recognize we have to work harder on food, fuel, and financial security. And you're seeing CARICOM, for example, making strides around cooperating regionally for Guyana, for example, to provide more food to the region and fuel, the world's newest oil exporter. And so those are the things that I think we need to be thinking of, not just individually and in our communities, but on a national scale and also on a regional scale, right? On every level of society that you could think of.